the Chicago Cubs, because they brought in Jameson Taillon, our guy, big coffee dude, nice little contract. Sure, middle of the rotation guy. All right, Cubs. What else? Dansby Swanson. They were rumored to be in on all the big shortstops. There was one left. I was wondering, would Boston get involved? With the Dodgers, they haven't really made their move. The Cubs had been rumored. They did it, Trev. They bring in Dansby. What is it, 7 for 177? Did I get that right? Holy smokes.
Something right around there. And they've been rumored this entire time. They wanted to bring in one of these shortstops. The other guys went off the market, and here they go and bring in Dansby at last. We were talking about, does the fact that Dansby's now wife playing soccer in Chicago, does that get him to go there? And I think Chris Rose was like, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter at all. But when you're doing these negotiations and maybe this was the best offer, maybe it wasn't, maybe it was similar, but when there's things like that pulling you, I think it probably did factor into the decision. But also playing, for the Cubs at Wrigley is very attractive to a lot of baseball players. Chicago's a great city. The Cubs have a great fan base. You're going to get treated well. So I think this is a great all-around fit. I'm kind of looking at the Cubs roster, and there's a few things they could still do, but they've made some moves. We keep thinking about them as, this team that's in a transition. Where are they at? Are they going for it? Are they rebuilding? What's going on? Are they retooling? I think they're going to be competitive in a division that's not very competitive. I don't think they're at the Cardinals level yet, Jake, but a few additions here and there, and we could be talking about this team competing for the NL Central.
Yeah, I hate to have some dumb irony here, but if this roster had Anthony Rizzo, I think I really like this team. It feels like they're missing one kind of consistent bopper, and first base is kind of available for them right now. Alfonso Rivas listed as their starting first baseman. I'm just happy for Cubs fans. They still didn't know where their team's head was at. They brought in Stroman last year. They brought in Belly. Ian Happ has his free agency coming up, 9-figure Happ, maybe 10 figures with the way the CBA is working nowadays. Sheesh. And then they bring in my guy Taillon, and you're like, all right, pencil that in for 165 good MLB innings, however it ends up looking. But it's still, you're right, compared to the Cardinals, they weren't there. The Brewers are retooling. They're going to be one of our more fun PPPs this year. The Brewers sneaky added Jesse Winker to the middle of that lineup. They added another righty bat too. I'm blanking, but they were retooling on the fly. But the Cubs, you bring in a dude, man, and the biggest thing that was kind of driving me nuts about Dansby's free agency, because I get it, some of his early career hitting stats aren't that impressive. Even the past 3 years where he's been pretty consistent, and he's, a 110 OPS plus guy. But from shortstop, that's super important. And everyone's freaking out about his arm and his defense. He won the Gold Glove last year. It's working for now. I don't know when the wheels are going to fall off on it, but for now, you just got the all JM shortstop from last season, and you got it at the cheapest shortstop contract. So I'm interested. How do you feel about all that? I mean, compared to the other shortstop contracts where Dansby landed.
Well, I think that this is the price of doing business nowadays, especially with this CBA. So yeah, I mean, we're getting guys making $300 million. I never want to encourage teams to spend less, but I mean, look, this is still a contract that the Cubs can surely afford to go do more stuff with. And you're right, they do need to add some more pieces. First base is there, probably a rotation piece, because right now it's Taillon, Hendricks, Stroman, and then a couple other guys. I'd like to see them add something there. But yeah, I mean, look, there were 4 good shortstops available, and you got one of them. I think you should be really happy about that. And there is something to be said about guys figuring some stuff out, okay? You could look at the 5-7 WAR last year and say, well, that's by far his biggest output of his career, and maybe it's an outlier. But you could also say, hey, maybe he's kind of figured this thing out a little bit. He's 28 years old right now. That's like kind of when guys used to
Right.
be entering their prime. Like, give the guy a chance to prove the Cubs front office right. And I think you like the guy, and I think he'll be a good presence in the clubhouse. He's a winner. He's a star. He really is, man. Like, so be happy. But the Cubs, I think you just got to go just a little bit further. Just a little bit further.
So, Trev, I guess we should wrap up on the Cubs before we move on. Do you expect another move? Is that weird to say? Because it feels like they need either one piece on the hitting side or one piece on the pitching side to get all of us like, all right, Cubbies, let's go.
I do expect another move. I expect like a rotation piece, some sort of depth there to come their way. And then also, yeah, probably a corner infielder. And there's some veteran guys available. Would Longo look good in a Cubs uniform? Would he go out there? I know our boy Wisdom has kind of been playing some third base, but I don't know, man. I see them bringing in either a first baseman or a third baseman and probably some rotation depth. And then if you do that, the roster kind of starts to round out. And again, like, this is not some banger of a division, dude. Like, make the right moves, have some guys step up. Dansby, like, work that plate discipline, get that on base percentage up. The slugging, I think, will be there in Wrigley for him. I'm starting to like the team, but I liked the team before, and last year we kind of got giddy about when we were doing the PPPs or the TPPs. What the fuck are they called? And then it didn't really happen for them. So, I think I always kind of just associate the Cubs with, having some sort of stuff figured out, but maybe I should stop that and really take a look.
Last year, I was giving speeches
We were
about
like, Clint
Rafael
Frazier, they could do it.
Rafael Ortega, and like, how is this all gonna work? And it didn't. That was the end point of it. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple interesting guys. I guess you just wonder. Brandon Drury. We've been wondering where our guy Brandon Belt is gonna end up. Like, even a couple of those small things that would help make us feel a little better, because they would still need a lot to go right. And they would need a lot to go wrong with the Cardinals to really become, I don't know, for the Cubs to be back in the NL Central. But you have to love it as a Cubs fan. I don't think I saw any Cubs fans being like, oh my God, we gave him 7, because I don't know, juxtaposed to those other contracts, I think I'd rather have Dansby's contract potentially over Bogart's, but I don't know. Who cares? You get one of the best players in baseball, figure it out later.